everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Belinda. Beauties, today I'm going to be creating this farmhouse style Thanksgiving home decor. I know that the Christmas decorations will be in full swing right now, but I did want to create something for Thanksgiving, and this is what I came up with. So if you want to see how I put all this together, then please keep watching. But before we get started, I'm just going to ask if you can please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also if you'll click that bell icon so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. As always, I'll be starting off by showing you the items that I used for this DIY. I'll be using 3 foam pumpkins from Dollar Tree, some raffia, some brown shoe polish. I'll be using several acrylic paints. I'm going to be using some from Waverly in the color Celery, and also the color Mineral, some white paint from Apple Barrel, Granite Gray, Latte, and some black, a kitchen knife, some floral wire, some pipe cleaners, some fall floral, my glue gun, some burlap ribbon, a marker, a paintbrush, and a pencil, and some letters that I printed off my computer that spell out give and also thanks, some twine, and last but not least, this 18 by 24 Barnwood frame. I purchased this a while back in an antique shop, but I did find a similar one on Amazon. I'll go ahead and link it down below in the description box in case you're interested in doing this project. I have really enjoyed using this farmhouse style frame for the different seasons and the different holidays. I love to decorate it for Christmas and also Easter, and now for Thanksgiving. Even though this was a little pricey when I purchased it, I think it's well worth it. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing some prep work on my foam pumpkins. I'm going to be taking my knife and cutting them in half. And I'm going to split them right down the middle, including also the pumpkin stem. And I'll be cutting the rest of the pumpkins as well. As you can see, this is half of the stem that was cut when I cut the pumpkin in half. And so it came off. And so what I'm going to do now is hot glue it back onto the pumpkin. And I'll be doing the same thing to the rest of the pumpkins where the stems came off. Some of the stems stayed on because of the toothpicks. Okay, so now my pumpkins are ready for me to start painting, and I'm just going to be using those different color of acrylic paints and start painting away. I'll also be painting the stems the same color as the pumpkins. I'll be giving them 2 coats of paint. And just for the record, I really liked painting with a brush instead of a foam brush. To me, the paintbrush gives you a nice, better coating of paint. So once I was done with the first coat, I let them dry out for 24 hours. Okay, here I just want to show you what they look like after the second coat, and I'm just going to let them dry again for another day. Okay, so while my pumpkins are drying, I'm going to work on my banner. I printed out these letters that spell out the word give. I'm going to be transferring those letters onto the burlap strips that I'm going to be cutting. I'll be cutting a total of 4 strips. And to give them that banner look, I am going to be cutting a V at the end of the strip. Okay, so I'm going to be using this technique to transfer the letters onto the burlap ribbon. And as you can see, all I'm going to do is place my ribbon over the letter and then just trace it out with my black marker. And here I just want to show you that you can clearly see the letter underneath. If you have good penmanship, you don't have to do this. You can just skip this part and handwrite your own letters. And here is how the first letter turned out. And here are my banner strips that spell out the word give. The next thing that I did is I cut a long piece of twine and I folded the top part of the letter banners onto it. And I added just a little bit of hot glue just to make sure they would adhere well. And my banner that spells out give is done. Okay, so next I'm going to be transferring these letters that spell out the word thanks onto my pumpkins. Okay, so I've used this technique a lot of times. Now what I'm going to do is color with a pencil on the back side of each letter. And I just want to make sure that I have plenty of pencil lead behind the letter. That way when I trace it on top of my pumpkin, it will transfer over. Okay, so now I'm ready to trace my letter onto my pumpkin. I'll be repeating the same steps for each letter. And this is how it looks once it's been transferred over, and I'm just going to go over it with a pencil. Did I mention that there is quite a bit of prep work for this DIY? I'm not complaining. I love to craft, but it may be too much work for other people that don't really like to do too much prep work. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to give my pumpkins that distressed look. And so I'm going to be using the brown shoe polish to do that. I got ahead of myself and I transferred the letter onto this pumpkin. I really should have done this first. So if you do this project, please first put the shoe polish first onto your pumpkin and then transfer the letter onto it. Here are all my pumpkins with the shoe polish and also with the transferred letters. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is trace out my letters with the black acrylic paint using my paintbrush. And this is how the pumpkins turned out with all the letters painted. Okay, so next I'm going to be cutting the pipe cleaners in half, and then I'll be hot gluing those pieces in the back side of the pumpkin. And the reason for that is I'm going to be using those as ties to tie them around my frame. Like I mentioned earlier, I use my Barnwood frame for other projects and other seasonal decorations, so I want to avoid adding any hot glue to my wood frame. I'll be adding pipe cleaners to all the pumpkins. And this is how the pumpkin will look with the pipe cleaner ties. Okay, so now I'm ready to position my pumpkins where I want them to be on my frame. Once I was done with that, I was ready to tie them onto my frame. What I like about having these ties on the pumpkins is you can really position them anywhere that you want on the frame. And so they're not there permanent, and you can use these pumpkins for other decorations for next fall or next Thanksgiving. Next, I took these fall florals, and what I basically did is just make a swag for the top of the frame. And all I did was just gather the stems of the florals and then just wrap some floral wire around the center. Next, I tied it to the top of the frame using some more floral wire. Next, it was time to make a bow using some of the burlap ribbon. For this bow, I looped the ribbon 6 times. And then in the center of my ribbon, I cut 2 slits on each side of the ribbon. And then using some more floral wire, I just wrap it down the center and tie it at the back. And then I just pull out the ribbons and then I fluff out my bow. This is a super duper easy bow to make. And then next, I just added some raffia around the back side of the bow. And then the last thing that I did is just add my give banner across the frame. Well, beauties, here is my farmhouse style Thanksgiving home decor. Although Christmas is going to be fast approaching and the Christmas decor is going to be going up pretty soon, I did want something to remember for us to give thanks, not just in November, but every single day of our life. At the last minute, I decided to add this small pumpkin to the center of the bow. We all have many things to be thankful for our family, our children, our grandchildren, and just so many things. And me personally, I'm grateful for the salvation that I have through Jesus Christ. Well, beauties, that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and also share. I'd really appreciate it. You have yourself a very blessed day, and I will see you on my next video. So until then, bye-bye and God bless.